Every day, the man would help his paralyzed wife take a bath. Just as he had filled the tub with water, he suddenly slipped and hit his head hard on the sink, instantly falling unconscious. His wife, Claire, was terrified because the water level in the bathtub kept rising while her husband lay motionless. Soon, the water engulfed her neck. At that moment, Claire was in a state of panic. She tried to reach for the chain of the tub drain with her feet, but she couldn't muster any strength. At the critical moment, Claire finally managed to open the drain, but the water was flowing out much slower than it was coming in. Just as she was about to try again, she accidentally broke the chain connected to the top of the valve. Claire could only watch helplessly as the water submerged her nose. To save herself, she concentrated and slowly reached for the nearby shower head with her left hand, hoping to control the faucet by moving the shower head. But before she could move it far, the water had completely engulfed her head. Just as Claire was about to drown, she suddenly mustered all her strength and finally managed to turn the faucet, slowing down the water flow. However, the water level still threatened her life. With her last breath about to run out, Claire quickly relaxed her body, letting her right foot float up naturally, and then kicked hard, finally opening the drain plug at the bottom of the tub. As the water level began to drop, Claire's head finally emerged from the water, narrowly escaping death. What surprised Claire even more was that after going through this life and death test, she miraculously regained her mobility. Claire held onto the edge of the bathtub and carefully stood up, wanting to check on her husband's injuries. However, to her bewilderment, her husband, who had just been lying unconscious on the floor, was now nowhere to be seen. Realizing that something was wrong, Claire grabbed the shower curtain and struggled to climb out of the tub. Having not walked for a long time, she heavily fell onto the floor. Claire stood up again with great effort and staggered to the bedside table, intending to call the police, but she found that the phone line had been cut. At this moment, Claire caught a glimpse of a dark figure suddenly flashing by the door, frightening her. She hurriedly picked up a piece of broken glass and walked forward to check, scared. Through the window, she saw her husband lying eerily on the floor downstairs. Looking at her motionless husband, Claire had no idea what had happened. When she mustered up the courage to approach her husband, she found that the phone was actually pressed under him. Claire suppressed her fear and reached out to take the phone out to call the police. At this moment, her husband's fingers suddenly moved. Claire was scared out of her wits. She hastily picked up the phone and car keys on the table and then ran away. Little did she know, the next second, her husband quietly opened his eyes.